I hope you enjoyed seeing the eclipse yesterday and realized how easily the moon eclipsed the sun for just a few minutes in our path of viewing. We're looking at things this week in our lives that eclipse the Son of God in our daily lives, for which we should beware. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Tuesday. We can see biblical examples of those who were drawn away from following God with their whole lives because of something in this world that had to offer that eclipsed God in their life. Paul gives a warning to young Timothy in 1 Timothy chapter 6, warning his congregation about the love of money. He starts this passage by reminding them that godliness with contentment is actually great gain. If we could be satisfied with drawing closer to the Lord in our lives, we'd be so much better off. He, of course, reminds him and us that we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. It is such an important reminder of the fleeting use of riches in this world. You know, it's been said you never really see a hearse driving down the road pulling a trailer for someone's possessions. The reminder for believers in these verses is that having food and raiment, we should be content. Actually, he carries a greater warning. He said, "But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and harmful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition." The problem is not having riches or wealth. It seems to be the real problem is for those who desire to be rich, for they will do anything in their life and everything in their life in order to try to gain riches beyond what is God's will for them. You know, if God should will for you to have earthly riches, it is certainly for a reason. Perhaps he's wanting you to care for the poor in your neighborhood. Maybe God has a ministry or even a missionary that he's laid upon your heart in order for you to support them. We must be clear that money is not evil within itself, but it's a tool with which we can use in God's service. Every good church, every ministry, or even some public calling is in need of monetary support to keep on going. When God blesses his people with abundance, we are not to be greedy or hoard it, but we're to see where God is leading us and to use it for his work and his glory. Now, the great warning that Paul gave to Timothy in 1 Timothy 6 is the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed from the faith in their greediness and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Can you imagine what kind of possession or obsession they have with money and the things in this life? I mean, we can easily see it all around us that man will forsake his family and try to work overtime to build a nice home or maybe some great nest egg for the future, only to realize that he's neglected the most important thing in this life, and that was his family. The love of money is just the root of all kinds of evil. It will make a person desperate or distracted. This is where we find that love of money can eclipse our devotion and our love for God. In Paul's warning here, he says that he's witnessed those who have strayed from the faith in their greediness. If only we could see that money is a tool which God blesses us with to be used for his work and for his glory. Paul says not only has the love of money caused some to stray from God, but they have pierced themselves through with many sorrows. It's almost like that love of God has caused a suicide for them and their faith, and perhaps even for their family. When we see things beginning to eclipse God in our lives, we should avoid it like the plague.